Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian.
And I'm Manuel Marini, executive chef.
You know, Chef Manny, people are always expecting the dietitian to direct them to a health food store for healthy foods. But the fact is, healthy foods are right in the grocery store.
You know, we did that. We took a trip to the grocery stores. We had a lot of fun. And we found a lot of good stuff out there.
We did. A lot of healthy foods, and we didn't even scratch the surface. Well, what part of the meal do you want to start with?
Well, we're here in the produce area.
Okay.
All right, let me show you something real quick, Tim.
Okay.
This is one of the things that people ask me about. Beets.
Okay, so I know about pickled beets, but what would you do with these?
Well, these are really nice fresh beets. What I would do is cut the stems off, cut the root off, put a little kosher salt, and bake them off.
Ooh.
Bake them at about 300 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes, and they get nice and soft.
Yeah.
Pull them out, cool them, and then you can actually peel them with your hands.
So,
another way to do it is to boil them.
Okay.
And a little bit of pinch of salt, and just boil water, put them there.
And then the skins will slip off.
They'll slip off, and then you can dice it, and then you can throw it in your salad.
Now, you wouldn't want to do that with this nice, beautiful white jacket.
No, just caution, because they do bleed a lot. That's one good item there.
Okay.
Of course, we also mentioned our leeks, right, Tim?
Yeah.
We did this a lot, and this is what they look like. And these are really nice, all right?
Beautiful.
Nice flavor to it.
Beautiful.
You take the leeks out, you know, just take the layers, the first layer, and then julienne it and saute it. And make sure you wash it really good, because it grows in the ground, so there's a lot of dirt in them.
Yes. Okay.
But, you know, julienne them real, cut them nice, and then run them in water, and then saute them, throw them in your soups, your salads, whatever you like.
You're
so
making
that's a good
me hungry,
item.
Chef Manny.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, so Chef Manny, there are a lot of vegetables here that people may not recognize. For example, I see celery root over here. Tell me what you would do with that.
Celery root. This is really nice. It's got a nice celery flavor to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a licorice as well. So two things you could do. You can peel it yourself, nice and neat, and then cut it in half, and then julienne it again. Yeah. Good in a salad, good to saute with some chicken, maybe some fish, or you can blanch it off and then peel it, and then do the same thing. So that's something really nice.
And when you say,
you look at it,
and when you say blanch it, basically you mean put it in hot water for a few minutes.
For a few minutes, and then pull it out, let it cool down, and then just peel it off.
Okay.
That's a good one.
All right. What about this jicama right here?
This one. We did a show one time.
Yeah,
this is really good. This is, as a matter of fact, this is something great for the summer.
Yeah.
Just like this, you peel it, you slice it, put a little bit of lemon juice, maybe a little bit of cayenne pepper or something like that, and just eat it straight. It's like a potato. It's sweet. It's got a lot of juice.
You know, I remember
That's
this.
Unique flavor. Remember that?
I remember this from a past show.
And everybody enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, it was great.
It's nice.
Jicama.
This is a great snack too, by the way.
Yeah.
If you get the little ones, they'll love this.
And it's a healthy snack.
Very healthy. You got some nice fresh corns.
Okay.
And now for our grill, this is what I'm thinking about.
All right.
When we do our grill, how about some grilled vegetable with lasagna style, right? We're gonna layer the grilled vegetable. We're gonna saute some chicken. We're actually gonna do some eggplant.
Okay, now you're losing me when you're saying lasagna style. So what I'm picturing is you're gonna grill these vegetables, and then what are you gonna do?
We're gonna layer them.
Okay, all right.
And then we're gonna throw a nice grilled chicken to it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna finish it off in the grill. So that'll be fun. It'll be something different that I thought about. We got some zucchini, really nice zucchini. We're gonna do some nice eggplant.
Good. Maybe some yellow squash going.
We got some yellow squash here. We got some tomatoes also as well. So I mean, it'll be fun.
Okay. All right. Now, while we're in the squash section and we're talking about some foods that people are less familiar with, I get a lot of questions about what are these squashes here. So tell me about this acorn squash here. Tell me what you would do with that.
This is really nice. This is used a lot in Latin America with stews.
Okay.
Soups. What you do is you can wash it really, really good.
Yeah.
Cut it in squares and throw it in there. It'll cook itself. Okay.
That's one way of doing it. Don't peel it. Okay.
The skin is just as good.
Okay. Just like a yellow squash.
Just like a yellow squash.
As long as you cook it.
Another one that you could do is cut the top of it off.
Yeah.
Put a pinch of salt and pepper and bake it in the oven.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
And it has that. You can use that as a soup bowl.
Ooh,
all right, so maybe if you have like a nice chicken and vegetable soup, throw it in there, and then you scoop it out with the squash.
Isn't it great to go to the grocery store with a chef and learn all these things?
Spaghetti.
Okay, now I've always heard of spaghetti squash, so here we are.
Now, have you ever cooked with spaghetti squash?
Never.
It actually looks like spaghetti once you cook it off.
Really?
So a lot of times, wash it really good.
Yep.
And you could either cut it in half and boil it, or go ahead and bake it off.
Okay.
Once it's cooked, once it's cooked, with a fork, you just peel it out, and it actually looks like spaghetti.
Looks just like spaghetti.
Spaghetti squash. Good flavor too.
Okay.
Now you could also add a little brown sugar to it if you like a nice sweet flavor to it. It'll be a nice vegetable starch, whatever you like. And then this one right here,
butternut.
Butternut squash. This is nice. Same thing here. Cut it.
Yeah.
Put it in a stew. Put it in a soup. You can blanch it off or bake it off. Any of these squash, I would bake it off, and then just add it or throw it in a soup or a stew.
Okay, so I don't hear you saying anything about, we saute a lot on the show. I don't hear you talking about sauteing these squashes. Well, would you ever do that? Or?
You would have to blanch them off first and then come back and saute them. Cool them down and then saute them, because it will take a while to cook.
Because they're denser.
Exactly.
They're tougher than our summer squashes.
So these are nice. These are really, really good.
Okay, Chef Manny, I'm never quite sure how to tell when a melon is done. Can you give us some guidance on that?
Well, I'm sure you've heard as well. If they're soft.
Yeah.
If some people knock on them
to see if they
thump them.
Yeah.
What else? Maybe at the end, if they're soft in the end, then that means the melon. The way, me personally, I just kind of feel it. You know what I mean now?
So you're feeling for a little bit of softness.
A softness.
It's not soft, but it's not hard. It's just a little bit in between.
Some people smell them.
Yes. Now I've noticed that because
they'll come up here
on a ripe cantaloupe.
It smells good.
You can smell
when you cut them.
and feel on this end right here how that's a little bit soft. Would you say that one's right?
This one would be good.
Okay.
Nice, fruity.
We're getting
and then this one too. Same thing with this one.
Yeah, the honeydew. Yeah,
the honeydews. Okay, same thing. I mean, some people like you. See,
he feels hard to me.
He is hard right now, but that's good to know. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Well, and we're getting into that time of the year when melons are so delicious. It's hot outside. Melons are cool. There's a lot of moisture in them, and of course there are all kinds of nutrients in them.
And that's a
very
good thing.
healthy thing to eat.
And you have the little ones here?
Yeah, little watermelons, yeah.
So
these are beautiful, aren't they?
They are beautiful. So and they'll be fun. These would be fun to, do picnics outside, or it's that time of the year, so that's great.
And these also fit well in the refrigerator.
Exactly.
So
then you got your fresh berries, of course. That's
your
favorite.
Well, of course, we're always working in berries into our recipes because berries are powerhouses of nutrients. They're chock full of antioxidants. People who eat berries on a regular basis, they have lower incidence of heart disease. They have lower incidence of cancer. That's why these societies, American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, encourage us to eat fresh fruits every day. And berries are excellent examples of that.
Beautiful. Real quick, I want to show you right over here.
Okay.
That I want to show you the mangoes.
Yep.
We got so many different kind of mangoes out in the market nowadays.
Yep.
These are so beautiful. The color.
They're gorgeous.
I mean, this is a good thing to say. How good is it? When do you know it's a mango's ready?
And our Hispanic viewers, they know mangoes. They grew up with mangoes, but
I have seen mangoes this big.
Really?
In the tropicals. It's a tropical fruit. So.
But there are a lot of people that they just don't know what to do with a mango.
And the mangoes, you can make a smoothie.
Yeah.
You can use it on a salad as well.
Yeah.
You could use it as just a nice fruit. And we talked about your weekend.
Well,
using mango,
as a matter of fact, this weekend we're entertaining guests, and so with our cheese and our wine, we're going to have assorted fruit, and I'm going to chop up mango because you showed us on a past show how to cut these.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is a wonderful fruit.
Okay, and you were going to tell me about these different kinds of mangoes.
Yeah, and it's just different, just like avocados. We have the Texas avocado, and we have the California avocados, and the Mexican avocados. Same thing with these mangoes.
So these are just different varieties.
Different varieties, different trees. These are bigger than these, but, when it comes to what is juicy, what is fruity, they're all the same.
And you can't really use color as a way to tell if they're ripe. It's more like you were feeling those melons a minute ago.
This one will be juicy because you can tell it's nice.
He's
yellowish, soft. This is also could be juicy because it's soft.
Yeah,
it might have a green skin.
And actually, although it's got color, this one's kind of hard. It's firm.
It is. So it needs
it's
probably
not quite
another
ready
week
yet.
or so.
Yeah.
Now, when you do buy them, which is great.
Yeah.
One thing that they taught me what to do was wrap it in newspaper and leave them out at room temperature. It helps them mature faster.
Okay.
So that's something good to know.
And in fact, that works for a lot of fruit. You can do peaches that way. If your peaches are underripe, put them in a paper bag, close it up, and in a day or so they'll ripen. Same for
Avocado.
bananas.
And
avocado,
avocados.
same thing.
So we do that. Sometimes we'll get a nice mix and match, and some are ready and some are not. We'll just wrap them up and just leave them outside. In a couple of days, they're ready to go.
You know, mango is one of those foods that I would encourage if you're not used to eating. It is a very nutrient-dense food. It's a very healthy food. There are all kinds of healthy substances, not just vitamins and minerals, but other antioxidants in mango.
Beautiful. You want to head out to the herbs?
Yeah, let's go look at the fresh herbs. You know, Chef Manny, you've taught me to use fresh herbs on the show, and so here we are in the produce section with all the fresh herbs, and I've got fresh oregano here. Now,
Beautiful.
The question that a lot of people ask is if I'm going to use fresh herb as opposed to dried herb, fresh oregano as opposed to dried oregano, what's the equivalent?
Well, you know, certain herbs are stronger than others.
Yeah.
Oregano, you know, when you use oregano and it calls for a teaspoon of oregano or a sprig of oregano, I would say it would be more like 1.5 maybe on the dry.
Okay.
Certain, like I said, certain herbs, tarragon would be another one. This one right there, if you see that one, tarragon, that is a wonderful. But the drier, I guess it gets more flavor to it. But one of the questions that now that we're talking herbs, a couple of viewers sent us and said, how long do they last in our pantry?
That's a good question.
You know,
so what's the answer to that?
Never buy. You know, to me, you try to use it as fast as you can.
And you're talking about dried herbs.
Dried herbs, yeah.
Okay.
You want to use it as quick as possible. A year, maybe, you know, but hopefully you buy the smaller ones so you can use them and then just go to the store every, 2 months or so.
And so after a year's time, your dried spices, they're not going to taste as good as when you first bought them because they've gradually lost flavor.
Lost flavor.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really tell you because ours don't last that long. You know, you buy what you need and you go from there. So buy the smaller.
Okay. Well, and so one thing then what I've heard you say on a past show is if I've got a recipe that's calling for dried herb, how much fresh herb, and I remember you telling me, well, a rule of thumb would be use twice as much fresh herb. Would you?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Now, like you're saying, it depends on the herb.
But it depends on the herb. Some are stronger than others. So.
Okay. So
when you're talking basil, you're talking this tarragon. I'll tell you, tarragon's got its own distinctive flavor,
and it's
stronger. It could be stronger. Yeah.
So you may not use twice as much.
You might a pinch and just add little by little. If the recipe calls for 2, just add a little bit. And then remember what I told you: it's good to add than to take out. Because once you put too much, what are you going to do?
You can't get it out.
You can't get it out. Right. So add a little bit and taste it, and that's the whole fun about cooking. I want to share something real quick while we're here. I mean, these are wonderful mushrooms.
Oh, they're beautiful.
See the portobello mushrooms. The oyster mushrooms, which not too many people are aware of, the oyster mushrooms.
Tell me what you do with oyster mushrooms.
Well, these right here, 2 things I would do. One would get a little bit of pinch of water and salt, and then soak them a little bit, and then
just
saute
a pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
Okay.
Saute them. Okay. Add a sauce to it, or anything else.
Maybe a cream sauce.
Maybe a cream sauce, or maybe a brown sauce.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, all these mushrooms are wonderful. Saute.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at this. Chef Manny, okay, you know how I was telling you about the study that was done on people who eat a handful of nuts every day? It doesn't matter what kind of nuts. This was a big study. These unsalted nuts, it doesn't matter. Now, these raw shelled peanuts are not going to be as tasty. You put them,
You roast them up.
Yeah, roast them. But these walnuts, these pecans, these
almonds. Your favorite there, huh? Almonds.
Uh-huh. And
what about the pistachios?
Pistachios count too. All nuts. The study says that people who eat a handful of nuts a day have 60% lower incidence of heart attack than people who eat nuts once a month.
So we should eat?
We should eat a handful of nuts every day. Now that's a key. A handful. Nuts are high in fat. It's a good fat, but even good fat calories still add up. So handful of nuts a day, very good, healthy thing to do.
Awesome.
Okay.
Tim, on the grill, we're gonna add chicken to it.
Okay, yeah.
And this is a good opportunity to show chicken. We have chicken with wings. We have thighs. We got it all here. That's a great thing.
There's a skinless one. That's the one I like.
That's the one we're gonna do. We're gonna do it skinless. Okay. We're gonna do a nice skinless. You can get the breast. You can get a butterfly. That's something to teach everyone. What does a butterfly mean?
Yeah.
And what does just the breast mean? Okay, a butterfly breast could be the whole breast of the chicken, which when you open it up, it looks like a butterfly.
Okay.
And then you can cut it in half. You got 2 pieces. So
I see.
if it calls for a 6-ounce butterfly, once you cut it in half, you got 3 ounces on each side.
And you know, on this chicken, of course, as a dietitian, I have a reason why I want you to choose the skinless one, and that's because the skin of the chicken and just between the skin and the meat are layers of fat. And did you know that that fat is higher in cholesterol than beef fat?
Wow.
So
that's
a good reason to pick the skinless
So
chicken.
we're going to go ahead and take the skinless breast because we're going to grill this off.
Okay,
Beautiful.
You know, we spend a lot of time on the show talking about vegetables and fruits and whole grains, and these are all essential parts of a healthy meal. And it's also true that lean meats are part of a healthy meal. You know, here in Texas, we tend to overeat on meat to the exclusion of vegetables and fruits. And so that's why you hear us emphasizing these. But Chef Manny, there are a lot of healthy choices here. There's some that are less healthy. So let's...
I mean, you know, if you're looking at a great piece of meat, you got some ribeyes here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, those are nice. They're a little marbly. You know, for the dish that we're going to make, it's a little pricey for what we want to do. I mean, that's a beautiful steak.
And now, of course, as a dietitian, I would say these are a little too marbled for someone who's trying to manage their cholesterol.
True.
Doesn't mean they wouldn't taste good.
No, not at all.
And so, but what if we did something like this one right here? Okay.
We can trim the exterior,
yeah.
right? There's not that much marble in it.
Yeah.
There's more
Look
meat
at all
to
the
it.
lean there.
So that's a very good piece of cut.
And then the other thing on meat that as Texans we always have to remind ourselves is to trim this portion size. You know, this could feed maybe 3 people. You know, you're looking at a 4 to 6 ounce cooked weight serving. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, like there's a couple of right here. If you look at all this chopped steaks and that eye round, I mean, that's a nice little eye round there.
Now, is that something we could use with our grill?
Yeah, this will be a beautiful item for our grill. It's just got a few marbles here and there. It's a nice piece of lean meat.
It's relatively lean.
Nice portion. So they got some really nice meats here.
And you could pick out, you could even pick out a pork loin. I mean, again, that'd be
a tenderloin.
Yeah.
Or a pork loin. You're right.
Yeah.
Like I said, they got some really nice. The good thing about it is that you can see how much fat, how much marble, so you make your choice what you like to eat. So there's some good meats out here.
Well, and you know, a lot of people tend to think that pork is unhealthy, but of course that's the sausage and bacon.
And that's, remember, I brought that up to you. My doctor said, don't eat pork. Quit, cut down on your pork, and I brought that to you.
Yeah.
What he didn't explain to me was that he was talking about bacon, sausage, all that stuff but a nice pork loin, oh my God, is wonderful.
You know, actually, a pork loin is as lean as a chicken breast. A lot of people don't know that. I believe you. Yeah, and that's also true for this this lean round that you were looking at.
The eye round?
It's almost as lean as a chicken breast. And so there really are, if you look through the meat counter and make some smart choices, there are meats that fit very well into your healthy meal.
Beautiful.
Okay, Chef Manny, although we're not going to use this on the show, I can't resist this opportunity to talk about it's actually a plant additive. It's a plant derivative that they're adding to some food products, and it's called plant sterols. Plant sterols are a substance that lowers your cholesterol.
So that is good.
Yeah, and we're finding it in milk. Here you can see this one has added omega-3s and natural plant sterols. We also find this product added to orange juice. Margarine has this additive in it. And this is a natural additive that is something that we should be consuming on a regular basis. We normally get this kind of additive if it's not just the substance itself when we eat beans and peas, for example. So this is another reason why we should eat beans and peas. But I had to show you this because this is a new thing. It's the first time I've seen it in milk.
Good. Tim, how about we do a grilled fruit with a poppy seed sauce?
As a dessert?
As a dessert. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Okay, now how are you going to make that poppy seed sauce?
We need some yogurt.
Well, okay, if we're going to use yogurt...
So your suggestion for yogurt would be?
Well, I would suggest a fat-free yogurt. Now, yogurt, there's a whole world of yogurt.
I see
you can choose fat-free, you can choose sugar-free, you can choose flavored or plain. And So if you're going to do a sauce and you want a vanilla yogurt, let's pick a vanilla yogurt. So let's find one that, okay, this one's fat-free vanilla. Now there's a difference in fat-free and low-fat, and that's just a matter of a low-fat is better than a whole. Like here we've got a whole milk yogurt. Now whole milk yogurt means that that's the difference, just like whole milk versus skim milk.
Okay.
And while this has a lot of flavor in it, it also has a lot of cholesterol. So for our recipe,
that would work great.
Well, we've got the flavor in the fruit,
right?
And we're going to grill it, so we can leave the milk fat out and use it.
Great, perfect.
Okay,
we'll take a couple of those, huh?
Yep, yep. All of the healthy foods that you see us use on Memorial Cooking Innovations are in the grocery store, and we've put out a selection of those here, and these are by no means all of them.
Yeah. What about this one, Tim?
Well, Chef Manny, you know what I like about this? Okay, this is oat bran, and read me the ingredients on this box.
100% oats.
So all this is oat bran. So this is a very healthy food. It's a natural food. It's whenever you're trying to eat a diet that is more whole foods, perfect example.
Beautiful. And of course this one.
You know this one because we use low sodium broth all the time.
It says low sodium, so it's actually really good.
Well, this is a key element to this label because, you know, you've taught us to use vegetable broth or chicken broth whenever we're cooking beans or cooking rice. You know, I would have always just
boil it just with water.
With water, yeah.
But add some flavor to it without having to add salt, of course.
Exactly, and that's the whole key on this low sodium. If you do this same thing that we do, cook rice, for example, with regular vegetable broth and it's not low sodium, it will be so salty you can't eat it.
But one thing I want to mention is that always look at the nutritional facts, because even though it says low sodium, it might not always be low sodium, right? You and I did that at the grocery stores where we looked at items that said, you know, it's low sodium, but not enough to where you can really, you know what I mean?
Well, that's a good point. In fact, we saw that, for example,
sugar is another one.
Well, but on the sodium, we saw that on the low sodium soy sauce, remember?
Exactly.
You know, the low sodium soy sauce is low sodium compared to regular, but it's still, you have to use a little bit.
Very high, so use a little bit.
That's right.
So I know, Tim, you know what? I know this is one of your favorites right here.
Oh,
brown rice.
Yeah. Well, you know, brown rice, people don't understand brown rice. They think brown rice, well, what is that? They don't understand that brown rice is basically white rice without the
husk.
Yeah, with the husk still on it, not the husk removed.
Right.
And what people don't realize is that when they remove that husk, they remove most of the vitamins and minerals and the fiber, and then through supplementation they add back some of those, but there are 9 nutrients that are not added back.
They are lost because of removing the husk.
That's right.
So that is a good one. Of course, you like the nuts, you like the
pumpkin seeds,
sunflower seeds.
Yes.
I mean, you're good at that, so that's great.
Well, and it's not only that I like them. You know, people who eat nuts and seeds can, on a regular basis, in fact, there was a landmark study done back in 1992 where people who eat a handful of nuts or seeds 5 times a week can lower their risk of heart disease by 50%.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's a reason to include nuts and seeds in your
So how much is
daily,
it per week?
Just a handful.
Just a handful. So
5 times a week is what the study said.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Chips.
Okay. I've got chips. All right. So how can chips be on a healthy diet? Well, the answer is this comes back to that idea of inclusion. We don't have to deny ourselves everything. You know, sometimes when you eat a sandwich, don't you want a chip to go with it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, some dietitians say, well, then let's have carrot sticks or celery sticks. It's crunchy. That's a good choice. But these chips, you notice, are unsalted and they're reduced fat. And you know what's interesting about the chips? I got to show you this. Now, on these chips, I'm looking at, you said to look at the facts box. The facts box here tells us that there are 10 milligrams of sodium in chips. 10 milligrams, and I'm allowed 1,500 milligrams a day. So when you taste these chips, now I'm going to warn you, the first time when you eat these chips, you're going to say, well, these aren't as good as the barbecue chips that I always like.
Of course.
But what you notice when you eat these chips is you taste the potato. You know how you've taught us about flavors?
Yeah.
You know how because
you don't overpower by one. You kind of mix it around so you can actually taste everything that you put in there, of course.
So when you
the main ingredient is potato, and a lot of times we don't even taste the potato. We taste the cheese, the sour cream, the sodium, and all the other flavors they add to it. So what's the use having it? Yeah, now I understand.
You know, you have a nice tuna salad sandwich on a good 100% whole wheat bread, and you put these potato chips where you taste the potato. You've got some good flavors there.
You do. That's good. Good thing there. You know what, Tim? I hear a lot from our viewers how much they enjoy watching cook. And the thing about cooking is you got to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, don't do it as an obligation. You got to go home and you got to cook. You can do a lot of things in 30 minutes. There's shows out there. You know, there's so much. It's just enjoying what you do. And we enjoy what we do, especially as a team. I mean, I enjoy working with you and working on recipes. And you and I sometimes don't agree, but we give in halfway and say, okay, let's take away this and put that, and I mean, you know, that's the whole idea. We'll go home and do the same thing.
Well,
you know?
and we're learning from each other.
Exactly.
I have learned so much about cooking from you that it's a joy to do this show with you.
You know, the thing about cooking is that you can involve the whole family to help out.
Yep.
It's not just a one-person thing. Our kitchen doesn't just run with one person. It runs with the whole team.
Yep.
So when you get home from a 8-10 hour day, and you got to go cook for the family. Well, one person's in charge of this, the other person's in charge of that. Make it into a family fun. And let me tell you, people will enjoy. Eat healthy, and they won't even notice it is healthy, the little ones. Well, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Well, you know, Chef Manny, you're the best person to teach us about
I appreciate
how to cook on Memorial Cooking Innovations.
If I can teach a dietitian, I sure can teach somebody else.
That's right. That's right.
That's good. Hi, I'm Manuel Marini, Executive Chef. A safety tip for us is cross-contamination. When using a cutting board, always use it one time for one thing only, then let's wash it off. The reason for that is by using fruit or using vegetables or maybe raw meat, we're cross-contaminating one another. The best thing to do is to do one thing at a time. Make sure you wash your vegetables real good, use your cutting board, finish what you're doing, then rinse it off. Come back and maybe use your meat or your fish or your poultry. Never try to do everything at one time. It's a good safety tip. I'm Manuel Marini, Executive Chef for Memorial Cooking Innovations. Well, Tim, you know what? You taught us that we don't really have to go to a health food store just to get healthy items.
Well, in fact, that's true, Chef Manny, that the healthy foods that we need every day are right there at your local grocery store. Like, for example, one of our sponsors, Brookshire's. We'd also, while we're talking about sponsors, like to thank Sodexo Food Service. And also, we'd like to thank our friends at the City of Lufkin for distributing Memorial Cooking Innovations. And also, we'd like to thank you, our viewers. Because of you, Memorial Cooking Innovations is changing the world.
One bite at a time.